If I ask you what's the most famous thing to ever exist, no, Danny White is not
John Jones.
Call of Duty, perhaps the most famous video game series to ever exist. Since 2007 till this day, Call of Duty broke almost every record in terms of sale or revenue, and there's a direct link to Call of Duty players whining and complaining about each Call of Duty game, and the game being on charts almost every year. In this video, I'm gonna take sources from different sites, but focusing on VGS charts, and the link will be in the description if any of you nerds wanna double check me, and I don't blame you. So here's top 10 best selling Call of Duty games.
Break's over. Let's go.
Number 10, Call of Duty World War II, 19.82 million copies. World War II games doesn't seem to sell that well. However, that all could change if you just put a Call of Duty before it. But just because I wanted to gouge my eyes out when I was playing this game, that doesn't mean that it's not a commercial success. Generating $500 million just 3 days of its release. It fastly became the highest grossing console game in North America in 2017 and generating over $1 billion worldwide revenue by the end of that year. And then you have people like me who say World War II games are hard to be successful. Despite the game being somewhat low on quality in the Call of Duty series, it's still a cool refresher after the futuristic Call of Duties like Advanced Warfare, Black Ops 3 and Infinite Warfare. Number 9, Advanced Warfare with 21.78 million copies. I mean, I know it's a forgettable Call of Duty game, but it still sold well. Well, at least compared to some of the Call of Duty titles. The transformation of Call of Duty series in 2014 doesn't seem to have a huge effect on the sales. Activision claimed that Call of Duty Advanced Warfare generated a launch revenue more than any other media in 2014. However, it was reported that retail sales of Advanced Warfare were down 27% compared to 2013's Call of Duty Ghost. Usually, video game series tend to stay away from crucial changes in the gameplay, but Call of Duty seems to disagree. Some people like it, some people don't, but clearly people have bought this game in 2014. Number 8, the original Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 with 25 million copies. I mean, what else could we say about the success of this game? Back in the day in 2009, nothing was compared to MWII. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 sold approximately 4.7 million combined in both the US and the UK in just 24 hours of its release. The first 24 hours of release in both the UK and the US have gained revenue of $310 million, making Modern Warfare 2 the biggest entertainment launch in the history at that time. And only after 5 days, the game had revenue of $500 million, and as January 2010, it has taken over $1 billion in sales. I mean, I'm not surprised, because if I put a gun at a random guy in the street in 2009 and forced him not to play MW2, he still would have played it, because it's MW2. Number 7, Call of Duty Black Ops 3 with 26.72 million copies. Cleaning up Advanced Warfare movement is one thing, but perfecting the movement is another. I mean, the game had a huge marketing back in 2015, especially in the zombies department with all the remakes of the original and all of the different DLCs. Combining all of that and the fact that it's a Call of Duty game made it possible for Black Ops 3 to be a commercial success. Not only that, but it fastly became the best-selling retail game in 2015 in the US, and definitely one of the most successful titles released for the 8th generation consoles, especially 8th generation consoles were only 2 years old. I truly adore Black Ops 3, and back in the day people didn't seem to appreciate it that much, especially with all of the loot boxes and stuff, but now in 2024 I feel like the game got the love that it deserved, with it selling more copies even today. Number 6, Call of Duty Ghost with 28.98 million copies. What? How dare you? Call of Duty Ghost is bad. Well, the numbers don't lie. And you, Call of Duty fans, definitely lie. Because this game shipped over $1 billion in revenue worth of units in the retail channels with only 24 hours. But however, the overall sales were down compared to 2012's Black Ops 2. And Activision blamed the 8th generation consoles for that. And to be honest, it might be true. However, Call of Duty Ghost was released in more than 5 different game consoles, so it shouldn't be a surprise that it sold that well. But it is a surprise for me, because everybody said the game was bad and they were not gonna buy it. So don't trust Call of Duty players. Number 5, Call of Duty Vanguard with 30 million copies. Speaking about not trusting Call of Duty players, why the fuck is Vanguard on the list? I mean, other than the fact that Call of Duty Vanguard got that Call of Duty name in the title, which definitely helped, but everything was not looking good for Vanguard. So how the hell did they sell $30 million? Don't ask me. But it definitely didn't sell that well in the beginning, because Activision said that Call of Duty Vanguard sales didn't meet the expectations. So what expectations, you tell me? I don't know. Maybe they were expecting GTA V type of sales, but I mean, to be honest, even till this day, every game mode is available on Call of Duty Vanguard, and it definitely had a strong player base. And the number of sales got leaked by someone in Activision, $30 million, and that's a huge number, especially for a hated Call of Duty game. Number 4, Call of Duty MW3, the OG one, with 30.71 million copies. I mean, it's not very surprising that Call of Duty MW3 sold that well. And if you put a gun in the... getting the advantage of the both Call of Duty title and the Modern Warfare title, with the hot streak of Call of Duty MW1, then Call of Duty World at War, and Call of Duty MW2, and Black Ops 1. And if you're surprised, then wait till I tell you that Call of Duty MW3 only in the US and the UK sold over 6.5 million copies in just 24 hours of its release, making it the biggest launch ever in the entertainment history, and grossed over 400 million in revenue. Activision said that Call of Duty MW3 Day 1 shipments were the largest of any game ever, even bigger than GTA IV, and the record number of pre-orders for MW3 drove the largest Day 1 shipments in our history at that time. Some gaming critic or Activision nerd named Hasenberg said that more than 1.5 million people queued at 13,000 shops at midnight on Monday to buy Modern Warfare 3, making it the largest retail release in Activision's history and in the industry's history. I'm tired just by saying all these different records that MW3 broke. To be completely fair, MW3 wasn't the best game in its time and definitely not the best Call of Duty game, but marketing wise it was a genius to say the least, and definitely a high point in the series. And I'm guessing that at that time other companies hated Activision more than I hate Joffrey or Sir Christian Cole. I mean, because it's House of the Dragon era now. So MW3 is the biggest out of the original Modern Warfare sub-series. Number 3, Black Ops 1, with 30.72 million, the first of the Black Ops series, or the second after World at War. It had a huge shoes to fill, and I believe that it did fill it well, because Call of Duty Black Ops 1 was the best-selling game of all time in the United States, and it remains one of the best-selling game of all time, even in today's standards, because within just 24 hours of its release, Black Ops 1 sold over 4.2 million copies in the US and 1.4 million copies in the UK, surpassing that of Modern Warfare 2 and establishing a new record for the largest entertainment launch ever. And at that point, Call of Duty was just making a new title every year and just broke that record. Was it that easy for them back in the day? And I can't blame the player base, because Black Ops 1 is a very cool game and Call of Duty had a huge and respectful reputation back in the day. So it's fair to say that Activision's obsession with the numbers of sales is definitely more than Mason's.
Revenge! Reznov! All must die.
Number 2, Call of Duty Black Ops 2, with over 31 million copies sold. I mean, to be completely fair, this one, I'm not very sure about it, but it was what Game Charts said at least. However, back in the day when futuristic was just kind of normal game and boots on the ground, people seemed more happy because there was no sweats of the exosuit. Call of Duty Black Ops 2 grossed over 1 billion in the first 15 days of availability, beating MW3 title of first 16 days. Activision reported that Black Ops 2 grossed over 500 million in the first 24 hours of its release, making it the biggest entertainment launch of all time, until the record was broken by GTA V in September 2013. It seems like that record existed to be broken by Call of Duty series back in the day, because that's the 4th year in a row that Call of Duty series had broken that record. I'm not surprised that Black Ops 2 sold that well because of its marketing and genius decisions and the very not complete shift to the futuristic setting. So that's why it's number 2. And the number 1, of course, MW 2019, with over 30 million copies sold in just 10 to 11 months only, making Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2019 not only the best Call of Duty title in terms of sales, but as well one of the best video game sales ever. And the reason why it's number 1, because that number only in 10 months or 11 months, and it remains in the charts of not only 2019, but as well as 2020 and 2021. So it's fair to say that Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2019 is definitely the best selling Call of Duty game ever. And while many of us shits on the game, it's fair to say that Activision bringing back the old setting of Modern Warfare was definitely a step in the right place, with the series finally getting the hot spot that it deserved. Well, maybe not deserved, but still, MW 2019 is definitely a game you want to play and did wonders for the series after the series was kidding downhill. It was so successful that it made a new series of reboots, and we still see the effect of MW 2019 even in today's Call of Duty, which is a blessing and a curse. So that's it. That's top 10 Call of Duty games in terms of sales. Please tell me in the comments which Call of Duty surprised you the most by it not selling well or selling well. Like if you're a cool guy, subscribe if you're even cooler, and make sure to watch my other videos, and take care.